Hello, everyone. My name is Dean Amhouse, and I'm with the Water Council. In this day and age, we having to sort of pivot all the time with COVID and travel restrictions. Unfortunately, we can't have one of our guests join us here in Chicago, but we were able to bring him into our presentation the day before. So we're recording this on Monday and try to make the best of everything with that. So I'm very, very pleased to see Harold Bronze, who is with the Water Alliance. He and I have worked together for several years. Unfortunately, they can't join us today, in Chicago at all, but we make the best that we can with that. So Harold Bronze is the International Business Development Manager for the Water Alliance in the Woerden, the Netherlands. And as I said, we've been working with the Alliance for several years. Mutual partnerships and collaborations have been terrific. So Harold, could you start off and just do a little bit of introduction of what the Water Alliance is and what you're doing as far as promotion of your industries across the world?
Thank you very much, Dean. And as you rightfully mentioned, we would have loved to be there live with you at WEFTEC and at Chicago. But in these digital times, we make best as we go. Thanks for the introduction. As mentioned, Water Alliance, we're a water technology cluster from the Netherlands. We are part of a larger ecosystem with some fundamental research, applied research, but of course, very important, the B2B aspects, to connect water technology businesses worldwide, especially also with the clusters as yourself. We're always looking for ways how to get that interaction and to get question and demand meet. And the North America is a very interesting partner or area for us because of the applications for innovative water technology of the future.
So recently I know you brought to us another opportunity, and something new is this area of the EU Techbridge, and you can see it on the slide up here. So I'm new to this. I've gotten a little bit of information, and I'm sure the audience that's with us here at the Global Center, this is probably something new for them. So can you give us an idea of what you've got cooking in EU? And as we're going to do this whole session, it's going to be a give and take. So I may be asking you some questions along the way, but so don't mind if I interrupt you if I when I ask you to expand upon something.
Please do so. Basically, EU Techbridge is a program. It's a European program where we as Water Alliance cooperate with four other clusters from Europe. It's an Italian cluster, LE2C. It's a Sustainable Business Hub from Sweden, a Vyzen from Spain, and Clean from Denmark. So quite a diverse group of cleantech clusters from Europe, meaning also a large outreach, which is important actually for the program, because we participate in this because we can provide added value through to the European SMEs participating, but also, of course, also for the North American network that we have. Basically, touch base a little bit on the program. What is EU Techbridge? Within the program, we match innovative European small and medium-sized enterprises with North American-based end users and corporate buyers who are looking for innovative solutions for their innovation needs, for their challenges. And for that, we have a matchmaking process. Basically, what we do, we reach out to North American end users and together with them present their challenges to a large group of European SMEs. To cut real bit short that matchmaking process, but we let them present, European SMEs can apply, and then we screen them and they can go into one-on-one conversations with the end users. And I think there also, Dean, there's an interesting link to be made with us clusters and also in our relation with you is, yes, we screen these European SMEs, but very often, as you know, they will need some boots on the ground, right? And this is where I think a cluster-to-cluster relation comes in as a perfect match, because it can, for example, be, just giving an example, Dean, that a European SME going into this program, talking to a North American end user, well, might need a partner, a system integrator. And this partner, for example, we could find, for example, through your network, and create that win-win, innovative European technology with a solid American contractor or system integrator, for example, through the Water Council network.
So let me back up. Is this just restricted to utilities, or is this an opportunity for North American businesses to present a challenge? And it's sort of a, we do our own challenges. So
it is quite broad. So it is public and also the industry, and water and energy. So both. We can only focus on water technology, but we do see some interesting examples also where the both, of course, meet in our field of work.
Right, because the other four clusters, I mean, you're water focused, but the other four, they may bridge into clean tech, energy, various things.
Yes, we are the sole water tech, 100% sole water tech focused cluster, but which also makes it interesting because we see this cross-sectoral approach. And we had just as an example, there was a one-to-one meeting with New York City and Samodex, the company is called, from our network, and their predictive maintenance tool for motors actually has a big energy savings component in there too, right? So very often, the water tech solution also has an energy component in it. Yeah.
Sure. And so this screening, if I can sort of think of this, it's almost like an hourglass. So you've got all these European SMEs that are out there that may have some innovative technologies coming through these 5 cluster entities. And then you're doing your screening, if that makes sense, and then channeling that to sort of the Water Council, and then to be able to spread that out into our network. Is that kind of how this would work?
Yes, and the screening, I think, is quite important for us. It's two-way. Do they have the right TRL level, so the technology readiness level, and are they able to cross the Atlantic? To put it a bit like that. And I think the additional point is working with you guys, for example, as Water Council, is that we can also tap in existing programs with EU Techbridge, and then you see the strength of our program, EU Techbridge, together with, for example, a program that you run from Milwaukee, for example, your pilot program, where if there is a match, right, because you do need to screen, select, is the technology unique? Does the end user really think it has added value and a unique selling point, or provide a business case to invest in? Then it can also go into a program that you are running, and it's a win-win situation for basically all participants in such a collaboration.
Is the participants from Europe, is there any funding that's associated with this to be able to help, make the match productive? Because all too often, obviously, something like this, there are costs associated with putting together a pilot. If there's obviously groups coming over from Europe, you're going to have travel costs. So how do the financial arrangements, if any?
Yes, we do have some funding, I have to say. So we do facilitate the whole process. What we ask from the end user is solely time. And I think I press on this in my next sheet as well. Okay. No, I actually don't, but what I want to say is that the end user is in the driver's seat, so he determines how much time he puts in, but that's all he needs to do. We facilitate the rest and can put the SME on the plane for a physical meeting in the US. Okay. Well, for obvious reasons, this hasn't taken place for the first missions that we have done, but that is definitely a possibility. The piloting, that is a next trajectory that we would have to look for other solutions there. Why don't you go ahead and just describe what you've been doing? Because that was one of my questions is,
how has this happened so far? And what's your plans for expansion?
We have done so far a few missions to North America, and the first one was in New York City. Just to give you an example, we had 138 attendees to such a webinar. 42 SMEs applied. Hey, I want to get into contact with these end users, and after we got into a short list. And just to give you an example, NYSERDA. We still have a few companies applying to the NYSERDA challenge, and they are actually running a program as of November to do, for example, piloting is integrated in that program from NYSERDA. And so they have information now they need, and some of the companies will be taken up in the NYSERDA program with piloting November onwards. Actually, it's interesting, that's a little bit the same for Los Angeles with the LA Bureau of Sanitation. The Hyperion project, water reclamation project, they just initiated some talks, or we had some time ago some talks with some European SMEs who will provide more and more information as the talks go for specific solutions they can provide to the innovation needs of Los Angeles in this case.
Right. So I know that, obviously, whether it be utility or industry, they're always, trying to uncover, the latest technologies that are out there. And, even as we conduct our tech challenge and brew and pilot, I'm always amazed, from what I hear from, again, our utilities and private businesses, how many new entities that are out there. And so this program really provides that extensive reach because it's really connecting with 5 clusters that have a pretty strong connections out there. I mean, I'm impressed with the fact that, for New York City, you've got, 42 applications. That's impressive, to be able to attract that. So that's one of those advantages of finding, what's that gem underneath that stone or big rock. That's what you're saying.
Yes, and I was personally actually surprised that we did not had to reject as many as we thought. What we do see is that if the innovation need is mentioned specifically enough, if it's a good innovation need that is put forward, you will also see that only those SMEs apply who really have a solution. And with our screening process, we can make sure that there's not too much being presented to the end user. And of course, in the selection process, then a few make it to the shortlist. And so we do see that, of course, that those who go on, that's usually a few, 3, 4, 5 that go into deeper talks with the end users.
Yeah. So the benefits for anybody in North America, who are at the global center, they're just being able to get a bigger pool of entities that could have some really great solutions that they're looking for, correct?
Correct, yes. And we really see, or what it is connect European innovative solutions to American needs with the cooperation of course, American system integrators, contractors, etc., to also be able to meet those kind of, for example, if you talk about utilities, procurement processes. Yeah. Right.
Do you have any more slides at all that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I'll just have a last one. Maybe it is, if it is one interesting aspect to mention, is that we have that really large outreach, and I think that partnership is one of the key elements, and I see that in our cluster-to-cluster cooperation, Dean, but also with American SMEs out there. So basically, my call to action in my chat with you would not only be for example, utilities or industries to reach out to you or us, but also for American technology companies who say like, hey, but maybe I can increase my value proposition with something innovative. So please reach out to us. And I think that was my last slide as well, how people can reach out to us. It's either me or my colleague, Stefan, who will be happy to answer more questions.
Terrific. Well, this has been a great introduction to the EU Techbridge, and I know that we'll be talking with Kevin Schaefer in a few minutes live during the Global Center, because I know he's a willing partner and wants to, see how he can tap into those resources that you have, but also the EU Techbridge and, across all of your other partners as well. But this has been a great introduction. And, again, there's the information on how to get connected with the Water Alliance and the EU Techbridge. Harold, sorry that you could not join us in person or, even by live and broadcast, but it was great to see you, and thanks very much for the great information. And hopefully, we can get this program promoted further across North America. And again, just as it said, as you talk about, it's really this bridge between North America and Europe as well. So thanks very much, Harold.
Thank you very much as well, Dean. I would have looked forward also to the talk with Kevin Shaver from MMSD, because I know he's quite progressive in his climate resilience, and of course water and energy are key in that. And I think it's a very forward-thinking utility, and looking forward to catch up with you in the future, also on the piloting program that we can possibly do together. And I wish you a good WEFTEC, everybody out there, and looking forward to meet again live in the near future. Thank you.
Okay, well, give my best to Hein Mullenkamp as well.
Definitely.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, Harold.